Hey music theory community, today I want to look at a new chord, and that is a 2-6-5 chord, and it's a chord that serves as a good substitute for a 4 chord in order to prepare dominant harmony. So what we're going to do here is flesh this out into chorale style and understand what's going on with this chord. So let's look at the first chord. We're in the key of F major. F major has one flat in it, a B flat. The best tone to double in a triad, again, is the root of the chord, so we're going to double the soprano part. We have two Fs, we need an A and a C. Again, you need to space the chord out so that there's no more than an octave between the upper parts. So that would be the best configuration. C in the tenor, A in the alto. Okay, now we're going to head into the 2-6-5. If you remember your dominant seventh inversions, 6-5 referred to a dominant seventh in first inversion. Well, now this 2 chord is in fact a seventh chord. So what's the root of a 2 chord in the key of F major? What's the root of a 2 chord in the key of F major? 2 would have to be a G. So the root would be G, B flat, D. That would be a 2 chord triad. And now the 2-6-5 chord is actually a 7th chord. So this chord is a 2-7 chord that we're going to use. And that top tone is the 7th of the 2-7. It needs to resolve down by step in the very next chord, as a 5-7 would do as well. This chord is the 3rd of the chord. It needs to resolve upwards in the very next chord, as a 5-7's leading tone would do. So we have the 2-6-5 sitting in first inversion. The bass note's going to be a B flat. And now we need to incorporate the D, the F, and the G. So let's see if we can hold any common tones. Let's start with the 7th, the F natural. Is there an F natural already in the chord? Yes, there is in the soprano. So we'll maintain the common tone, F natural, in the soprano. So we're using the F. We need a D, we need a G. The D can be taken by the tenor, and the G natural by the alto. So we have all tones used. Now we're going to note that the F natural has to descend down by step in the very next chord. How do you spell a 5-7 chord in the key of F? It would be C, E natural, G, B flat. Yes, we have an E needed in the chord. Here's the resolution in the soprano of the 7th of the 2-6-5. So it gets its resolution down. Now the E natural, sorry, the D natural, the B flat of the 2-7 chord is the tone that needs to resolve up, and it does. The 4th scale degree rises up to the 5th scale degree. What about the 7th resolves down? So let's look at voice leading from the G and the D natural. So again, the 5-7 chord already has its C being used, it has its E being used. We need the 7th, which is the B flat, and we need the G. So where are we going to put the G and the B flat? The G will hold as a common tone from the 2-7 or the 2-6-5. And now we need the B flat. So the tenor will take the B flat. You're skipping down. You can use a passing tone if you wanted to, a C natural, to connect the 3rd. Now the 5-7 chord. The 7th, the B flat, needs to resolve down by a step to the 3rd scale degree. The leading tone of the chord is the E natural. The E natural needs to resolve up to the F natural. The leading tone gets resolved. The 7th gets resolved. The root is there. What is the G going to do? Again, we're resolving a 5-7 into an F major chord. F, A, C. We need a C. Where are we going to put that C natural? Off that G. We can skip to it here. We can also skip down. If we put it here, we're going to have a big space. And if we put it here, we're going to have a big space between alto and soprano, alto and tenor. So in this case, this is one of those rare cases where you may need to omit the 5th of the chord. And we looked at that in prior videos, where you have only roots and 3rds of a chord, and you have to omit the 5th due to voice leading needs. So in this case, it's going to be one of those options. one of the options would be to double up on the root on the F natural, or to use the third of the chord. So what can we do? If we go up to the A natural, then we're going to use parallel motion up on top, but it will be parallel 6, and that's an option. So let's look at a little bit of this in action. Here's our first chord, rolled. Here's our 2/7 chord. Here's the 5/7 chord. One more time in block chord formation. And then again, the other option, being that we're not using the 5th of the chord due to voice leading needs, would have been to go down to the F natural. And let's look at that as an option as well. So I'm playing from the 5/7 chord. Now going down to the F natural in the alto. One more time. And the other option would be the A. Okay, thank you very much for listening, music students.